Hey. Hey. Kompai. So, hi friends. I've been in Tokyo for a little over 24 hours now, and I wanted to recap everything that I've done, everything that I've felt, and everything that I've seen thus far. I landed yesterday. I first had a total meltdown in the morning before I got to the airport. I cut my finger. I don't know if you can see that, but I cut my finger on on my razor, reaching for like medicine in the middle of the night before my flight because I couldn't sleep. I was too nervous. Then in the morning, I got my suitcase stuck. So I tried to cut the zipper off, ended up ruining my bag, and cut a hole in my favorite shirt. So next time your zipper stuck, like, don't try and cut it. I don't know why that was the solution. So I had a bit of a panic attack in the Delta Lounge coming over. The flight was amazing. Honestly, like, Delta was super great. I had like premium select, which was basically like business class or maybe a step below business, but it was so nice. And everybody was, it was just like the 10 or 11 and a half hour flight. You're kind of just like, I watched Lost in Translation, which is with Bill Murray and Scarlett Johansson, and they go to Tokyo and then they meet, and it kind of sets the tone for Tokyo. It's kind of a darker look at Tokyo, but Bill Murray is very funny in it, obviously, and Scarlett Johansson is just so delightful and like, would love to meet a Scarlett Joe while I'm here. And yeah, once I landed, I got a cup of coffee. I remember just kind of like being like, okay, I'm here. It was about 2 p.m. Tokyo time, and I was just like, holy crap, like I'm here. I'm in Japan. Then I got to my hotel, had a minor panic attack in my room once I was all settled and unpacked, like completely had a moment of just like, I'm unwell. Like, why am I here? Why did I do this? But you know what? It's now that I'm like settled in, I'm so happy. I'm so happy I'm here. I'm so happy that I have this experience happening, that I get to do this experience. I'm so grateful, right? Like, these experiences really, they don't happen that often. You don't get to just like travel solo for 10 days in a foreign country, whether it's financially or family wise, like you can't get away, or work, you can't get away. So for the stars to align for me to like take this trip, I just feel very blessed, right? I feel grateful, and it ebbs and flows. There are also moments where I'm just like, what have I done? Like, why am I here? So checked into my hotel. Love my hotel, Tsuki in Tokyo. It's a 3-star hotel. Cannot recommend it enough. So if you come here, I believe it's like $185 a night. So it's really, reasonable, and the staff's been super friendly. They give you these cool. This is not a kimono, but it's something. Anyways, I just love hanging out in it, and they made me an amazing reservation for an omakase tomorrow, which at a very, very prestigious restaurant, Udatse, which like, she was like, you're so lucky you got a reservation. So that'll be on tomorrow's episode. That'll be day 3. But anyways, so this is the first 24 hours of Japan, right? And at this time, I'm like overwhelmed. I'm not sure why I've decided to come to Tokyo, or like why I'm here. I end up hitting the streets, and I stumble upon this street fair, and there's all these families there, and I am just like, overwhelmed by the culture, but also the similarities. I mean, like, I know when I like walk around with my daughter at a street fair, and we're getting cute candies and street food, and we're just like holding hands and kind of walking through these big crowds. It made me think about my daughter quite a bit, and missed her, obviously. And I went So I found this hole in the wall sushi spot, and I like walk in, and hi, and they're very nice. And then this is my first meal in Japan, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, just sit down at the sushi bar and just eat. And I really wanted this like hole in the wall experience, right? I get there and I ask them, I go, do you accept, credit cards? And she's like, no. And then I had the audacity, I guess, to be like, do you accept American dollars? And she's like, no. I was like, okay, cool. Bye. And then I just like bolt out. And there's this couple sitting there, and they are laughing at me, just like laughing, thinking I'm hilarious. So I end up going to a 7-Eleven, which I must say, they are very nice here. They have great food. And I go to the ATM, I take out 50,000 Japanese yen, which is roughly like $400. I think my exchange rate ended up being like $390. I was like, okay, this will be enough cash to last me hopefully like 4 or 5 days. I'm trying to spend about $100 a day. And I go back to the restaurant. And I'm like, hi, I got cash. I have money. And they're like, oh, come on in. Welcome, sit. And then the guy next to me, he pours me some green tea, and they serve me miso soup, but they cannot stop laughing at me. And when I say they, I mean the couple sitting next to me, the sushi chef, then the master sushi chef, and then there was like a sous chef or dishwasher. No, she wasn't a sous chef. She was more of a dishwasher. And then there was a whole room behind, and they're like smoking cigarettes, and they're maybe playing cards. They're just like all laughing in Japanese. And I'm not kidding when I say they're laughing at me like for the entire meal. Like I was just like, ha ha ha, like eating with my chopsticks. I'm like, yeah, I'm American, and they just couldn't stop laughing at me, but they were also being very gracious hosts. And I got a big plate of sushi. It was 1,800 Japanese yen, which I'm still wonky on the exchange rate, but like very affordable. And had some green tea, had some miso soup, delicious, all delicious. And it was just like, okay, I think in that moment I realized I'm like very much in a foreign country, but like there are customs here, and there's friendliness. There is warmth. There's warmth, and I have realized that in my short time being in Japan that there's a lot of warmth to tourists. Every person that I've asked for directions or recommendations has been so polite, so helpful, respectful, almost to the point of like there's a real sense of honor in this country. I've noticed that the streets are extremely clean. I don't see cigarette butts everywhere. There's no trash. It's just like I sense honor and pride in the country. And for this to be Tokyo, one of the most dense metropolitan populations or cities in the world, I think it might actually be the most dense. It is so clean. And I'm just like amazed at how clean they keep it. So like literally I carry like my trash with me. They don't have like trash cans on the corners. I'm just like, because I don't litter at home, but like I'm even more careful here. I'm like putting my wrappers in my bag. So that's something I've really noticed. Anyway, so I finished the sushi, and then it's about 8:00, 8:30, and I had told myself, I'm like, I would like to stay up till after 10 p.m. I didn't want to go to sleep before 10 because I didn't want the jet lag to screw me up, and I wanted day one to really be, super, like, I'm on Tokyo time. Even though I'm still a little wonky, I think by tomorrow I'll be like 100%. So I go to this area called Golden Gai. Now, Golden Gai I've been to the red light district in Amsterdam. So if you've been there, you know that it's these like small corridor cobblestone streets where you just wind around and like you peep in, you look in. Obviously, it's for prostitution. The Golden Gai is more for bars. Okay, Golden Gai reminded me of that, where you're walking down these tiny corridors and you're peeking in and you're looking to your right and to your left, and there's like different vibes at each place. And I walked through all the different corridors, try to take photos. And again, I'm like traveling by myself, so the inner monologue is just going. And like that, I think, is something that I am hopefully going to come out of this experience with, is like less fear of the inner monologue, less worry about that inner voice, and more like embracing the inner voice. I feel like my inner voice, it can totally go off the rails, like just like anyone, because we're human and our brains are fucking nuts. But like, I don't know, like embracing that inner voice is something that I'm practicing and trying to practice on this trip. And Golden Gai was a perfect example. I am sober, so it was just like, it's just like an uncomfortable situation for me. But they do have non-alcoholic beers here, and you know, I ended up having a non-alcoholic beer, and it was really nice. And but I do feel, if I'm being honest, like not a fear of missing out when it comes to drinking, but just that fear of like missing human connection through drinking, especially as a foreigner and especially as a solo traveler. Like sitting down at a bar, striking up a conversation, there's almost this romantic side to it, right? But anyways, Golden Gai was very cool. There was also these like, random like guys kind of coming up to you being like, hey buddy, like you from out of town, like come here. They were all like black guys, and they spoke great English, but they would just come up to you and like, yeah, you know, fist bump you, high five you, grab your arm, and be like, hey, come with me. And I guess they were trying to get you to pay for like all you can drink places, and you can pay like a cover, and then you go in. I didn't end up going into that. I went into this like whiskey bar that was very cool, and sat and talked to them about I'm going to take a day trip to Nikko, which I'm very excited about. It's like 75 miles north of Tokyo, or kilometers, maybe not miles, maybe miles. Anyways, first night was great. I stayed out till about 11, and then came home, cut a TikTok video, and passed the fuck out. Oh, I also downloaded Bumble. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. You're in the trust tree. I downloaded Bumble last night. I haven't been swiping that hard. That's not true. I ran out of swipes last night. I swiped my little tits off, have a couple matches, haven't engaged with anybody, but I'm thinking I'm gonna go on a date or two while I'm out here. Like, it'll be fun. It'll be a good experience. It'll be good content. So anyways, we'll get back to Bumble. But so I pass out, and then wake up super early this morning, have a bento box, and I go to the Tokyo Tower. This is the only thing touristy-wise, reservation-wise, that I've booked. I book a tour to the Tokyo Tower, which of all the things to see, it's not that great. Like, I was up there, you see Tokyo, and then you leave. You know, it was quick. And I'd say the highlight was going to this park across the street. I think it was called Goji. I'm butchering that, but whatever. And there were these crows, and I got to feed these crows my Cliff Bar. I then kind of just sat. There was this stream there, and I just kind of sat and just, you know, thought to myself, like, okay, I'm here, you know? Like, those are those moments. Those are those lonely moments. There's these downtime moments where you're just like, what am I doing? Like, why am I here? You kind of breathe through them. Obviously, something that always helps me is sharing, and kind of sharing on social media, sharing with you guys, and just like content, right? Like almost making a moment out of a non-moment, which can be a beautiful thing and a curse sometimes, because sometimes I have trouble just sitting in the non-exciting moments and just being like, this is just life. Like, you're just sitting in life right now, and that's okay. It doesn't need to be that exciting. Granted, everything's exciting because I'm traveling, but I know that at home in Los Angeles, I'll have times where I'm just like, you know, life's not that exciting, or I'm just down. And it's like, it's okay. Life can't always be a high, right? There are these down moments. So then I ended up finding this little shrine, which was nice. Then I went to go get pizza, and I ended up ordering a pizza with fish on it, like tiny. It was called white bait fish, and I ate the whole thing, obviously, because I'm not disrespectful. I'm not gonna give it back. And then I went into this crystal shop and I bought a little crystal for my daughter Leia, which I'm very excited to give to her. And it's just been, I've been here now a full 24 hours, right? And I'm definitely settled in the sense that like I feel very comfortable in my hotel room. I have my bearings in terms of the subway. I'm eating great. I know that everywhere takes cash. I say arigato pretty nice. See, arigato. I also learned kampai, which is cheers. And I think tomorrow I want to go kind of get out of Tokyo. I want to go take a day trip to Nikko, which is what I see from pictures, like nature and some temples, and it might be a little bit of a Zen trip. But overall, like my three biggest takeaways. Let's do 3 takeaways from the first 24 hours. Okay. For one, loneliness is real. I've felt it. And there's nothing to be afraid of. Like, there's nothing to be afraid of, to be alone, to be in your feels, to be in your head. There really is nothing. There's nothing to be afraid of. Just being by yourself. And I know I'm putting a lot of emphasis on that, but like it's something that, especially as a widower, I've really struggled with. And this idea of like being alone, being a single dad, like I'm on my own. It's scary, but I'm proving to myself through this journey that being alone is okay. Being alone is actually a beautiful thing. And I don't know, if you guys believe in a higher power or not, but like we're never actually alone. There's always something or some thing out there looking after us, right? I believe in that. And when I feel very lonely, I tap into that source, and that source really feels like it's deep inside me, which we all have, right? We all have access to it. So that's the biggest takeaway. It's like embracing the loneliness. Second big takeaway, I'm really amazed with how clean Tokyo is. I'm amazed with how clean. Like, you go into public restrooms and they have like Toto automatic, tushy warmer toilets. It's like it's just wild. I love the cleanliness of Japan, and I don't really know why America why we don't like take care of our land, or we don't take care of our cities. Like I personally don't litter, but I know like there's parts of the US that are just filthy. There's parts of LA, parts of Pasadena. I mean, Pasadena is actually pretty nice, but anyways, that was like a huge takeaway for me. And I'd say the third thing I've learned in the last 24 hours is, like eat it. Eat the thing. Like don't not eat the thing, right? I've had like a cinnamon roll. I've had a salmon bento box. I went and had a pizza with fish on it. I'm actually hungry right now. Like, I want to go get more food, and I don't have a plan for tonight. But like, eat the thing. Just and with that, let's be more profound, right? Final thought here. Like, do the thing. Like, do it. Like, I'm here. It's a bit scary. It's a bit much. I'm a bit overwhelmed, but like I'm here and I'm doing it, and I'm not. There's no way, as long as I make it home safe, which I will. But there's no way I'm gonna look back at this experience and be like, "Why did you do that?" Like that was stupid. I hate that voice, but you know what I mean. So that's my first 24 hours in Japan. Tonight is technically night 2, and who knows what kind of adventure I'll get into. Much love, guys.